What's up, y'all? I had some curiosities. It's nighttime on the homestead. I have a habit of watching things on YouTube about our current state of affairs, I guess you could say, with the government, the presidential race, people's opinions. I promised myself that I was gonna leave our channel non political. But with the way everything's going, I don't know. Politics leaks into our daily lives these days. I mean, my lord. The price of gas alone is enough to have the conversation. I mean, we have Democrats, we have Republicans, conservatives, liberals, whatever titles there are that are out there. My biggest thing is common sense. So much common sense has gone out the window. I'm dumbfounded by it. I guess one of my biggest things with our current president, or Pino, as I'll agree to call him, he's president in name only. And half the time, I'm not even sure he's cognitively aware of anything going on around him. And I say that in pity. I mean, I feel sorry for him, to be honest with you. You can tell there's problems with his mental faculties. I mean, every time he does a speech, he's either full of gaffes that are all over YouTube, or he's jacked up on something. He's on some kind of drugs, and his eyes are open so he can actually read a teleprompter. So I'm dumbfounded that certain people fall for the lies, the people spinning things and saying our economy's good, people have more money, and what crack are they smoking? Rich people, yeah, okay, I could say they got money. They're so rich, they have money. Stuff like this doesn't affect them. It costs a lot more, but they have the money, so it doesn't hurt them. I mean, my lord. Common sense. Common sense. The biggest thing that I take from Biden's presidency is him attacking MAGA people. Does he know what MAGA stands for? Make America Great Again? Because we're not so great a country right now. He's the biggest wussy I've ever seen when it comes to foreign policy and foreign wars, and my God. Yes, I want Trump to be president again. For his 4 years, there's a laundry list of things that he did. And the proof is in the pudding. Inflation was at 1.4% when Biden took over. It got up to a high of 9%. Gas prices, $1.79 a gallon. What are they today? I went to get gas yesterday in Louisville, Kentucky. When I left my house in Lanesville, Indiana, there's a little mom and pop shop down at the end of my road that has been historically over the last couple months higher than everybody else gas price wise. Their gas price was $3.62 a gallon, so me thinking, they're probably still high. I'll get it in Louisville because it's usually lower. I went around a corner from our office to a Thornton's. got out of my truck to put gas in my truck. Then I realized when I looked at the pump how much it was. It was $4.39 a gallon. $4.39. So I thought to myself, wow, why do we have such a jump? Holiday weekend's coming. Travel's going to be more expensive. Now it makes sense. I mean, common sense. People complain about MAGA this and MAGA that. Yeah, I'm MAGA. Yeah, I want to make America great again. When America was great, my money went further. Groceries didn't cost as much. Gas didn't cost as much. My utilities didn't cost as much. And I hear all these people. I cannot tell you honestly how many people I've heard say the fact that Donald Trump is an asshole. I hate him. Was he mean? Yes. Does he have a filter? Sometimes no. Is he a brilliant businessman? Absolutely. Did he change our country for the better? Absolutely. Just because he's an ass doesn't mean he can't be good. It's what the country needs. Someone who's strong. Someone who's going to say something, who's going to back it up. Is he the perfect candidate? No. I struggle with the fact that I don't think anybody would be the perfect candidate. Government has become ridiculous. Hell, half the Republican Party is wishy-washy. I wouldn't be surprised if 60% of Congress doesn't really care about anything except money. How much more can they get? How much more power can they get? How much more money can they get? We got to do something. And I normally try not to categorize it as the Democrats, but I'm sorry, it is the Democrats. And the rhinos, Republicans in name only, they're destroying our country. The border. You gotta be kidding me. And then they try to put it off and blame it on Republicans. Oh, it's Republicans' fault. They won't pass a bill. We don't need to pass a bill. Biden has all the power he needs to reverse the policies that he changed when he took office. He could shut that border down right now. Take him, 5-10 minutes, sign a few executive orders, get it done. Does he want to do it? No. Now I hear cities are petitioning to have illegals vote. Oh, wow, didn't see that coming. Common sense. You let millions of illegal people into the country, and yes, they're illegals. They're not migrants. They're illegal aliens. They are illegally in our country. Why did you want to let them vote? Because Biden let them in. They can keep their power. They can keep destroying our country and taking everything from the little people. I'm sorry, but it's not right. It's not American. People talking about MAGA, like I said, make America great again. Why wouldn't every single citizen of our country want to be a part of MAGA? That makes no sense to me. I was thinking about this tonight, and I actually came up with an interesting thought. Biden is losing ground with young people, people of color, and he's losing ground everywhere. His main base of Democrats are older people. And I keep thinking to myself, well, why is he keeping these older people? What is the difference? Most older people don't like to use social media. It's just the way that they were brought up. It's the way that they lived. And, I can't say percentages wise, but there's got to be a ton of them. My mother's one. She doesn't even like to use a cell phone. I mean, just wow. And because they don't like social media, they don't spend a lot of time on their phones, and they're used to watching CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, all those crap news channels. But all they do is spin how the economy is, and spin how Biden's doing, and how he's cognizant, and he's just a little eccentric, and all the comments I've heard from them are just ridiculous. But it makes sense. People, it comes down to, how do you want to live? Now, like I said, I'm just a common person. I'm no one special. And all I could think to myself the other day was, I'm a believer. And I keep thinking to myself of God and Jesus having a conversation. And they're seeing what's going on down here. And Jesus looks at God and goes, "What were you thinking with the free will?" And God just kind of shaking his head and putting his hands up in the air. Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't the greatest decision. I thank him for giving me free will. I thank him for giving me the ability to think for myself. But boy, that can be a real dangerous animal. We need to stop voting with our emotions, voting with our feelings. Common sense. Do you want things to get better? You gotta vote for something different. And you gotta vote. How many people are out there that just say, "Oh, well, the majority's gonna vote this way, so I'm not gonna bother"? Imagine if half our population did that. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not one of these grassy knoll type people, but it does make you think. Anybody with half a brain would question certain things. I definitely question the election from 2020. There's no doubt in my mind there was nefarious things that went on, and they buried them. I'm sorry, it's just that's just the common sense thing. Everything goes back to common sense. The question is, are we going to vote with common sense this year or not? And I mean, it's not like this video is going to go viral and 200 million people are going to see it. But you got to think, no matter what your political views are, no matter what your emotions are, how do you want to live every day? Do you want to live with an opportunity to make something better? Or do you want to just sit back and let everything stay the same? Because right now, it's terrible. Maria and I make a lot more money now than we did when we were living in New York. Part of the reason why we moved out of New York is the opportunities down here were better. But we moved, and things just went to crap. The bonus of moving here was kind of just nullified by everything that changed and everything that got more expensive. It didn't mean much that we make more money. I mean, yes, we have a house. We have a mortgage on the house. Our interest rate's terrible. I got a nice truck. But these things, it's a drop in the bucket. The homesteading thing was I don't know. It was a tough decision to make, whether we were going to get animals or not. Maria really wanted it. I did want it. But it felt more like a want than a need. And now, with the way things are going, it feels more like a need than a want. I mean, I'm blessed. I have chickens. I don't have to go to the store and buy eggs. That's one cost I don't have to incur. If we wanted to, we could milk our goats. Goat milk is actually really, really nutritious. Goat meat is extremely nutritious. I mean, stuff hits the fan, we've got options. Granted, now they wouldn't be great options, but we have options. And even that's been a hardship because, now we got to pay for food and we got to build stuff for them. We have to be able to buy the fencing. We have to be able to maintain everything. Water bill's higher. But it's nice because you can come home, even if you have a hard day at the office, and you get to spend time with creatures that God created that love you because you're the one that feeds them. You're the one that takes care of them. And their attitudes will reflect that. One of the smartest lines I think I ever heard in a movie was from, my God, now I can't even think of the name of the movie. Denzel Washington. Remember the Titans. The two linebackers were talking to each other. One white, one black. And the white kid said something about being a waste of God-given talent. And how his attitude was terrible. And the black kid looked back at him and said, you know what? Attitude reflect leadership. Oh yeah. 100%. Does it my work? It does in life. Your attitude will always reflect the leadership you're shown. And you can see it in the country. It's changing. We got a really, really bad bunch of leaders. And I'm going to say that's all sides considered. Yes, there are some good standouts. And there's actually a couple of Democrats that I share certain views with. But the majority, that's where I get my attitude. They caused all this. They didn't inherit it from the Trumps. The Trump the Trump terms. Or his presidency, I should say. Sorry, folks, it's late. They didn't inherit that. They created that. Truth has become a very slippery thing to hold on to these days. Blatant lies all over TV, and people defend it. And it's not just Biden. Democrats too. You hear them try and spin. Oh, the economy's doing good. You got stuff. We're better off. We have more money. No, we don't. Inflation has just brought everything up except what we're getting paid. If anything, it's gone down a little bit. And inflation just keeps going up. Or fluctuating enough where it really affects your pocketbook. A statistic I heard recently was 65% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I got news for you. We make good money, we're living paycheck to paycheck. Because our money doesn't go anywhere near as far as it used to. And I'm sorry, something's got to change. Something has to change. Could it get worse? Yeah, maybe. Could it get better? Absolutely. But you got to take the steps to make it better. Yeah, it's just frustrating. And now I'm starting to hear things in the media about Christians being targeted. Just look at Israel and Hamas and all that crap that's going on. The protests where these kids have no idea what they're protesting about. Being led by these weirdos that I can't believe are citizens. And when has it been okay to say death to America? If you're saying death to America, get the hell out. You don't belong here. We the people are not making these bad decisions. I just don't get it. I know a lot of the world hates us because we're a free country. But are we so free? The government keeps trying to take our rights away. Speech, Second Amendment being the two biggest. The Constitution was written for a reason. The Second Amendment was written for a reason. Now, I may be a pro 2A guy, and a very pro 2A guy. And another one of the major reasons I moved out of New York State. They don't call it the vampire state for nothing. If the taxes don't get you, the governor will. And now she's insulting New Yorkers. But yet they all wonder why everybody's moving the hell out of New York. Hello. I don't want to stay anywhere that tries to take everything from me. When I came down to Indiana and we got down here, it was a whole new world. Taxes aren't anything like they are in New York. Yeah, we got more tolls and more highways and stuff, which is actually pretty amazing. Because I lived in upstate New York and there was like 2 highways. Well, 3 highways. You had the Adirondack Northway, which pretty much goes from Albany all the way up to the Canadian border. You got the New York State Thruway, goes all the way across New York State. And you got Route 88, Interstate 88, which they've actually done a lot of construction on, and they needed to for years. But that was it. I mean, down here in Indiana, pretty much anywhere you go, there's a highway to get there. And it's pretty amazing commute-wise, unless they're doing construction on bridges and they shut them down and you have an hour wait. But trade-offs. But I mean, I come down here and it literally was like a whole new world. Go in the store and you can buy something to protect your family. Not only can you buy something to protect your family and exercise your 2A right, you can carry it. So that no matter what, 24/7, you're protected. And let's admit, people, this country's been violent, and it's become more and more violent. You don't know if the guy next to you is going to stab you or not. How sad is that? And I thought I knew what rednecks were until I come down here. Boy, I tell you, this is where rednecks come from. Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee. The heart of America. Well, the heart of American rednecks. And I tell you, yeah, sometimes they may not be the politically correct people. They may not be the most well-groomed people. Myself included, I have my days. But let me tell you, the faith that's down here in God, the willingness to give people things even when you're hurting, that's the type of people they are. I mean, yeah, there's exceptions to every rule, but for the most part, everybody does what they can to help everybody else. Isn't that what America's about? Immigration is fine. Legal immigration is fine. And I would even say encouraged, because, we want to offer the opportunities to people. But when they take advantage and they come here to do things that are unethical, illegal, downright evil, that needs to be stomped out. I'm sorry. Right now, the way the border is, it should be shut down, period. Zero immigration right now. I mean, first of all, the immigration system definitely does need to be rehabbed. But the border needs to be shut down. We need to get a hold of our country before we allow all these people to come in that don't know how we do things and that don't want to assimilate to our culture, which is the whole point of immigration. It's just nuts. Now, like I said, I wasn't going to make this a political thing, but I need to get some things off my chest, and I wanted to ask a question. If anybody watches this that has voted for Biden, or that supported Biden, whether they change their mind or not, I beg someone to comment on my video and tell me something he's done that's worked, that hasn't cost us more money, that hasn't caused inflation, that hasn't caused interest rates to go up, that hasn't caused the prices of things to go up, food, gas. Tell me something and back it up with facts. Don't just blurt something out that you heard from the media, because 9 times out of 10 I'm not going to believe you in the first place. I mean, hell, I watch Fox News and I don't believe them more than probably 70% of the time. Tell me something, show me something that he's done that's worked and that has been beneficial for our country. Just one thing. Because for the life of me, I can't find one. There has been a negative end result to every single thing I've seen him do. And if people throw out, or I should say, I'm going to warn people right now not to throw out the student debt stuff. Because first of all, it's illegal. He was told by a judge he couldn't do it, and he's still doing it. And second of all, that's costing me money, and I didn't go to college. But I got to pay for someone else's college? Oh, hell no. That's not fair. I pay enough in taxes. But anyway, rant over. But honestly, if someone can comment something that he's done positive, let me know. I'm genuinely curious to hear something that he's done that's worked that I don't know about. Because I don't know anything he's done that's been good. All right, people. I love y'all for spending time with us. Spending time with me tonight. Not that this will get a lot of views, because it's political, and these days nobody wants to talk politics. But sometimes some things just need to be said. They can't be left alone. If you leave things alone, it's just not going to work. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And since he's took office, that's all we've done, or worse. All right, people. You all have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.